Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Israeli. So apparently the Jerusalem flag march was cancelled after police rejected Damascus gate route. So the march was supposed to happen tomorrow on Tuesday, and apparently it was cancelled because the route that the organizers were suggesting, the route that they wanted, the police rejected it. Originally the march was scheduled to pass through Damascus gate near the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. Now, I'm sure the police was worried that what would happen is when the march gets near Damascus gate, the Palestinians will start throwing things at them like happened last time, and then the police will have to intervene, and then violence will escalate again. So rightfully so, they wanted to prevent it. Let's see what else they say. A controversial flag march through the old city of Jerusalem was called off on Monday after Israel police rejected the organizers' request that participants be allowed to march through the old city's Damascus gate. The march was viewed as a possible way to set off violence. On the eve of the swearing of the new government in the Knesset, Defense Minister Benny Gantz held a briefing on Sunday to discuss the march and urged the police to cancel it. So Defense Minister Benny Gantz, he was supposed to be a prime minister instead of Bibi Netanyahu, and then he joined him. It's a whole story with the political system. But he's a military guy, and when he says something like this, it worries me because he's supposed to be one of the people to bring change to Israel, but canceling people and shutting people's voices because he doesn't agree with them is wrong. Now, he didn't say to the police to find a safe route or to find a way to have it in a safe way. No, he urged them to cancel it. He doesn't even want to hear about it. So you don't agree with them. Good. I don't agree with them either. But they have a right. Yeah? They have a right. And he just urged them to cancel it. Now, I want to say the police didn't cancel it. They just didn't approve the route that the organizers wanted. So the organizers said, if we can't do that route, we're not having the march. And the police said, that's your choice. But they could have had the march just in a different route. Just like the Pride Parade, they wanted to have the Pride Parade, just like in Tel Aviv, go throughout the whole city. But they couldn't, too dangerous. Too many people want to hurt them in Jerusalem when they have the Pride Parade, so it was limited. And it was safe, 7,500 people came, and all was good. They could have done the same thing. The police did not shut their mouth. They just restricted the route, which I think is okay. But Benny Gantz wanted to just cancel it. Benny Gantz, you're wrong. You can't cancel people's views in a democratic country. You can't. It just doesn't work that way. So Gantz met with IDF chief staff, and he wanted to discuss the march. Okay, this is religious Zionist Bezalel Smotrich called the decision shameful surrender to the terrorism of Hamas and Hamas threats. Now, he's a political guy, and he's not getting his way now. The new government is not the government he wanted or wants. So he's saying like this half-truths. Hamas did threaten, but it's not because of Hamas. It's because how the Palestinians are going to react once the march arrives to the tension zones. Things are going to heat up, and then the police will have to intervene, and who knows where that's going to be. And that has nothing to do with Hamas, because they did approve the march, they just didn't approve it in that route. And it's logical, and he's trying to capitalize some political gain from this. So Ben Gvir, this guy here, Ben Gvir is another another parliament member, and he said he's going to march anyway because he has immunity. He's a parliament member, so he can't be arrested or charged. So he said he's going to do it anyway. And I say, let him go. Yeah? Whatever happens, happens. Good luck, Ben Gvir. But I don't think he will. He's just trying to heat things up to get some political gain out of this. So here we have the Joint List released a statement in response to cancellation which said racist hate demonstrations and calls for murder are not protected under freedom of expression and protest, especially when it comes to occupied territory. That's the Joint List, the Arab Joint List. We will continue to stand firm against the right's attempt to ignite Jerusalem and the entire region to lead to bloodshed. Well, this march, maybe it wanted to instigate some violence. Maybe it wanted to challenge. Maybe it wanted to show that they're in power. Whatever. You're right in many ways. Are there hateful statements in those kind of marches? Yeah, I'm sure there are. But they always say like what the Israeli side is doing wrong, and we know what we're doing wrong, and the police is dealing with it. But they never say anything about this march is filled with hatred, but we do not need to be drawn into it. We should not be drawn down to their level. Let them march next to us and be kindful to them. Do not instigate anything. Do not start anything. Just let them march through, so the whole world can see their hatred and our love, whatever. Yeah, but he doesn't say that. Yeah. He never criticizes the other side. Yeah. People go with flags, chanting stuff, and your side many times start throwing stones at them and other stuff, and you never criticize that, never. And then you're surprised that Israeli people don't trust the Arab political parties, and then you're surprised. You can say a balanced thing. You can say whatever you want about the right or the Israelis. You can, but then say something about your side, about the people who are listening to you. You have a responsibility. But they'll never do that, except this new guy, Mansour Abbas. He's different. And it's surprising because he's on the Islamic Brotherhood. Yeah, they're supposed to be like the most extreme Arab party in the Israeli parliament, but they're the most responsible right now. They are the ones who are talking to heat things down and to try to mix into to Israeli political life and civil life, and to try to change the status quo in Israel from the inside. And it's very interesting. And now he's going to be part of this new government, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. But these guys. So I want to show you one more thing. Yesterday I said that this has nothing to do with politics. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It doesn't matter. Either way, they have the right to march and do whatever they want. But then you see here something like this. Again, even if it's political, they still have a right to march. But they can't say they're not political and then say something like this. A few hours before the controversial flag march was scheduled to take place, the sovereignty movement is expected to launch the Greater Jerusalem Project, calling for the expansion of Jerusalem to include Gush Etzion, Mevatzeret, Ma'ale Adumim, and parts of Binyamin Regional Council. So this is a political stand. Yeah, this is taking a political stand. So you can't say that you're not political. The struggle of the path of Zionism, the righteousness of the path of Zionism begins in Jerusalem. So, Jerusalem is now becoming the center of attention with all this conflict, and this is an opportunity. We can either take it, because it's not going to calm down. Hamas is excited about it. Iran is excited about it. Everything is starting to, and maybe now there's hope to actually start negotiations, to start some kind of talks. And again, to all the Israelis out there on the right, just because we start some kind of conversations and negotiations with the Palestinian doesn't mean that we have an agreement, doesn't mean that we're signing anything. We're just starting talks. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let the new government try their best. Give them a chance. I'm not very optimistic about this new government, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, right now it seems like the march is cancelled, meaning it's not going to happen tomorrow, but the organizers did not forget about it, and they'll probably go back to it. The weather is nice, and they want to do this route because they want to go through all the tension zones and to show that Jews are allowed to walk anywhere in Jerusalem. And that is correct. Jews and Arabs and everybody who lives in the land should be free to walk around safely anywhere they want, carrying any flag they want, chanting anything they want. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can go to the other side of the city and drink a coffee or something. You don't have to get involved in everything that goes in front of you. If you don't like it, do something else, just like TV. On the TV, you don't like what you're watching, you change the channel. And let everybody live their life. And of course, if somebody says some horrible things that are incitement for violence, then you have to stop them. Of course, there are some limits and rules. But other than that, they should be free. But on the other hand, this is not a normal situation. And we have on one hand their right, democratic right to march and have their say in the routes that they want. And on the other hand, we have the security and safety of the whole country. And I think at this moment, they should do the march in the route that the police advise them, and let the politicians take care of Israel's sovereignty and Israel's rights and everything that Israel has to do as far as Jerusalem and that type of stuff. And let's see what happens. And maybe in the future, if everything works out right, you can do this march anywhere you want, carrying whatever flag you want. Okay, guys, so this is what I have to say. I don't think it's finished yet. I think maybe next week we'll hear about a new date for this march, and we'll have to follow it. So again, I don't believe in their message, but I do support the right to do it. I do support the police for restricting the route in this time, and I don't think the Palestinians have a right to use violence if these people decide to walk through their neighborhoods. It's part of living in a democratic society, and there are other ways to protest that other than violence. So, everybody is sort of like right and wrong here, and I think at the end of the day, the police had the best option, and I hope that in the future, maybe even this year in the future, they'll be able to do the march the way they wanted. We'll see what happens. Crazy times, crazy place, crazy life. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. It helps a lot. And I'll see you on the next video, guys. Have a great day. Bye.